Welcome to Lesson 3 in Unit 14, Bugs and Blooms. In this lesson, students will work to answer the question, why do bees live in groups? In this lesson, students explore how living in social groups helps honeybees survive. Students figure out that being part of a social group helps bees find food and carry out the tasks needed to survive. Students make connections to the storyline by figuring out what the bees do once they return back to the hive. There are several opportunities for ELA and math cross-curricular connections throughout the lesson. You can look for specific standard connections in the Unit 14 teacher guide. This lesson will take approximately 4 to 5 days to complete. You'll begin the engage portion of the lesson by reminding students that in the last lesson, they observed how bees pollinate flowers. To continue learning about the honeybee, you'll read Honeybee, the Busy Life of Apis mellifera. Use the Read Aloud guide as you read and discuss. During the discussion, you will post the hive, worker bee, hexagon, forager, and queen bee vocabulary cards as part of the Read Aloud. You'll revisit the driving question board and add any new questions and highlight others connected to the learning goals of this lesson by calling attention to questions about bees working together to survive or bees living in groups. After reviewing the hive, queen bee, and worker bee vocabulary cards, you'll introduce the drone bee vocabulary card. You'll begin the Explore portion by asking students what sorts of jobs they have at home or school and how they contribute to the success of their class or family. You'll then discuss the possible roles of different honeybees. You'll set up the honeybee hive simulation with the materials from the kit pictured here. The detailed procedure for this simulation can be found in the honeybee hive simulation instructions and the tutorial slides. In the Explain portion of the lesson, students will engage in a class discussion. You'll invite students to gather and analyze their observations from the activity. You'll use the provided questions to guide the discussion around why do bees live in groups. The goal of this class discussion is to discuss what they observed during the honeybee hive simulation and describe how living in a social group helps the bees survive. You will use the discussion to create the Lesson 3 summary chart. From the discussion, students should understand that the bees from flower to flower are either foragers or messengers. The messengers help direct the foragers. The forager's job is to collect nectar, pollen, and water and bring it back to the hive. During the discussion, you'll have students read the article, Why Do Animals Live in Groups? You can post the evidence vocabulary card. And you'll have students use the Social Groups Argument student journal page to record evidence about the benefits of living in social groups. They will add to this journal page throughout the remainder of this lesson. For the Elaborate portion, you'll ask students if they know of any other animals that live in groups. You'll show students a video of ants and ask questions about how living in a group helps them. You'll then allow students to turn and talk and add evidence to the Social Groups Argument student journal page. For the Evaluate portion, you'll have the students use their evidence from the Social Groups Argument student journal page to make a claim and add their reasoning. To support student sense-making across the unit, you'll orient them back to the driving question board. Ask, did we answer any of the questions on our driving question board? If there are questions that have been answered, remove them from the driving question board and place them on the summary charts. You can use this as an opportunity to answer the section driving question, why is the bee on the flower? You'll then have students take the Section 1 summative assessment. By the end of this lesson, students will have constructed an argument about the effects of living in a social group on honeybee survival. In the next section, students will investigate katydids to learn about variations in traits. For more information about this unit, visit myscipartners.com.